Hi. Welcome to Enjoy the Chaos.
Yes, we're excited you're back.
That's right. We hope you've had a great week.
Yes, it's exciting to be back.
This week we're going to dive into dating our spouses,
Which is
attempting to date our spouses.
There will be a challenge at the end for both Sarah and I. Challenge coming.
That's right. We'll see TBD if we accept it or not.
Yes.
Okay. But to dive in our cocktail today, we have a spiked apple cider.
I love this.
And it is an ounce of Captain Morgan spiced rum.
Yes.
It is half a cup of apple cider. And then you top it off with Prosecco. Because we love the bubbles.
We love the bubbles.
We can't.
I think it's like we have bubbles in every drink.
Yes, we just can't have too many bubbles.
Right,
yes,
right.
no
And
such thing.
It feels like fall. Like in the morning, like I know right now it's a little warm, but in the mornings and the afternoons, it feels so good.
It does.
So this is the perfect cocktail.
Yes, we're going to kick
Good
it
job,
off.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Our mixologist.
Yes.
I love it.
So,
hey, let's talk about our merch.
okay. So if you'll
Yes.
notice, we have t-shirts. We have
Yes.
Pig Loves Tacos. If you heard on the not last episode,
Yeah, but
or the one with
one
the
before.
leek, we talk about where we take our leek.
That's
We introduced Pig, and we talked about how she makes so much noise trying to get her in the door because she was trying to get the tacos, not to us, but because she wanted the tacos.
That's right.
So my friend Leah George with
Yes.
Monuments Creative designed the shirt, and then my other friend Molly Gilbert with the Crafty Lefty printed the shirt. So it's all in Who You Know.
That's it.
We will be doing a pre-order for the
Yes.
t-shirts.
We're so excited.
Watch out for that post. So we'll be ordering the shirts. So we're very excited to
Very excited.
become a little bit more official with some apparel
some merch.
that you can wear
I
out
love
in
it.
the world.
I love it.
And as we continue to grow and elevate, we also have a YouTube channel now.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
It's being built, so show us some grace, just like you have following the podcast and sticking with us every week.
That's right.
But it is Enjoy the Chaos with April and Sarah on YouTube now.
right.
So we'll have some bonus content on
That's right.
there, as well as the episodes that you can view. If you're having trouble viewing the videos on Spotify, and you want to do more than just listen and you want to watch the shit show in addition to listening to it,
Tune in.
yes, you'll be able to find that on YouTube as well.
That's right.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
I'm excited. We also have a blog in the works.
Yes, so
So
that'll be
even
coming
more.
too.
Yes, hopefully the next week or so we'll have our blog.
So we're
that'll
trying to
have
grow,
links,
trying to
so-
find ways to connect. So we're super
Yes,
excited about
I'm
all the
excited.
momentum that we've got.
That's right.
And
So
we
you know-
appreciate you guys following along on the journey.
Oh my gosh. It means so much to us, Sarah and I.
Yes.
So we had a really sweet comment today that I was just so excited about. She was a single mom, and so she appreciated us, and we appreciate you.
Yes.
And so super excited that she's listening, and everything was relatable, she said. And I think that is what means so much to you and I.
Right.
Like, we have chaos every single day of our life. We had it today.
Yes.
If y'all only knew. But it seems we do, like, every single day. But we just step back and try to enjoy it. And I think talking about it makes it so much easier.
Find a moment to laugh about
Yeah.
it
That's what you got to do.
so you don't
That's
cry
what you
about it.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Spouses.
April,
The Chad.
tell us how you met the
The
Chad.
Chad. So I was actually in a scholarship, a basketball scholarship.
Again,
at
April
basketball.
is like 5 foot
nothing.
nothing.
5 foot nothing. We may or may not have said that before. And you can tell, like, I'm short, right? My whole family's short. So it is what it is, But I was on a basketball scholarship at Reinhardt University. Actually, it's university now. When I was there, it was not.
Okay.
And I had a cousin that we literally did everything together all the time. We were inseparable. Well, she had moved to a college here in South Georgia and at ABAC.
Okay.
She was loving it. She loves agriculture. And so that was her jam. And she was at a party one night and there was this dude.
Don't call
It's a
him
dude.
a man
Yeah,
quite
he
yet.
wasn't a man yet. He was a dude. And he would not shut his face until he was talking to me. Like, he was like, I want to talk to her. And Jessica, my cousin, was like, I don't really know. Like, but he kept on and kept on. And so she let him talk to me. And from that moment on, Chad and I talked every single night. So mind you, that was long distance. I was in North Georgia. He was here in South Georgia. And that was like, we talked for several weeks before we officially decided, hey, we need to meet. Like face to face, right? Like I've seen a picture. Are you really who you are?
I think this was before catfishing. I don't think people did that.
Yes, exactly. So I'm like, you know, I think about even today, all the FaceTime, the social media, everything. Like, man, it was a different time back then.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, such
100%.
a different time.
Like you literally talked on the phone.
Like you picked up the phone and that's how you communicated, right? So anywho, so we talked, right? A couple weeks went by. We decided we wanted to meet. And my family was pretty strict back in the day. And so for me to go to them and even say, hey, I'm going to see Jessica down south. And while I'm there, I'm going to meet this Chad that you have no idea who it is at all. You don't know their family, his family. And they just said, okay. And I'm like, what? Like,
we'll hear your story on Dateline one day, but fine.
Like, what is happening? It's okay that I go down there and spend the night. And then also another big step is I was meeting his parents. Exact same trip.
Just nosedive right on in there.
I mean, who does that? so anyway, so we decided to meet. I came down and I was super nervous. I'll never forget it. And she lived at a small house in the area. And he came up and I remember I was getting ready, super nervous. And I remember walking out. And I remember him sitting on the couch reading a magazine. I remember what he was wearing. I remember the whole nine.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So crazy, isn't it? And I just kind of stared at him for a little while. You know, I'm like, wow. Okay.
So you like knew.
I was like, this is a different feeling, right? This is a whole different thing. And I've not even talked to him really yet in person. Like, I don't even really know what your face looks like because he was faced to the side. So he noticed I'm there. So he stands up. And he comes over, we immediately hug, and I don't know. It was just, I don't know if it was love at first sight. I think it probably was because both him and I felt very comfortable. Now, we had been talking, but we were just very comfortable in each other's space. So Jessica let me go. She's like, bye, you know, and I'm like, oh, dear. So we get in his truck. We actually go. I had to ask him. I knew we went somewhere to eat, but I was like, was it Longhorns or was it Outback? You know, the big special places, right? And so we went to Outback. And so I've always been one that loves the food. Right. And so whoever's watching knows, if you know me, I love food. I'm a foodie. Right. Always have been a foodie. So we sat down. I order, probably not his typical girlfriends. I order a steak. I order a salad. And then I'm also determining my dessert. You've been with me several times, so you know how I am with dessert.
Skip to that first. You make that determination.
I love that. So I guess he wasn't thinking I was going to eat all of that, but I did.
Challenge accepted.
100%. So he does talk about, I'll never forget that first meal. Like, you ate the whole thing. Like the salad, the steak, the potato, and then also the dessert. Like, I was not the typical girl that's just going to pick around at her food, you know? Like, I was all in. You're going to love me for who I am, and I'm going to eat the steak, okay?
Right.
So we hit it off. We traveled a little bit further south where he lives, and I spent the night with him and his parents, right?
Oh, wow. See, I don't think I knew that part.
Exactly. And so he took me hunting before. So before we actually went to his house, we went hunting. And
Same day.
So
like Outback.
And then we hunted.
Okay.
He had to stop and get me some gloves.
Question.
I mean, yes.
Your first date apparel transferred from
100%
Outback to hunting.
He made sure that I had the appropriate attire. We did have to stop at Walmart and get gloves because it was cooler. I think it was in November. And so it was a cooler night. It does sometimes get cooler here.
Yeah.
But it was a cooler night. And he put all the things on me I needed. But I'll be honest. Okay. I don't remember seeing a deer.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, we were so engrossed in each other's conversations. It was, we were. Tell me more. Conversations were very good. So we went to his parents' house. They were so kind and so sweet. I still couldn't believe I was even there. I had no idea who they really were, right? And I am going to spend the night in their home. What? Who does that? So anyway, fast forward, so that was in November. we got engaged in May.
Oh, wow.
Got engaged in May. So I was still at
Okay.
Reinhardt playing ball. And I worked really hard after that trying to figure out how to get down south.
Right.
And so hence why I moved down south, below the Nat line. And
That's love.
It
That's
is
love right there.
Isn't it love?
That's love.
But now, I mean, I will say, like, we had a lot of great times. That today is different.
Yeah.
Right? I think we definitely had a love, and especially when we got engaged, we were so giddy. We actually had a long engagement, so we were engaged 2 years before we got married.
Okay.
And so we had some challenges. You know, we had some ups and downs, and we still do today.
Oh, obviously,
You
yeah.
know, we really do. But I think that's what makes us stronger. I think
Yes.
it's just, you know, you have those days you want to, I don't know, you want to just scream at the top of your lungs and be like, oh my gosh, am I really doing this today? You know, is this what we're really
I've
about
seen
with my
enough
two children?
snapped. This could go a different direction.
Yes, exactly. But I think at the end of the day, Sarah and I talk about we go to the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a patio, but we tend to go to the driveway.
Right.
And we talk in the driveway. And so that's with my kids, my 15-year-old Maddie or Ada Britt. Like, we go to the driveway.
Right.
And that's where we hang out.
All the family stuff happens in the driveway.
Sarah knows everything in the little house really has transpired in the driveway. So, anywho, and I think we'll talk a little bit about some more challenges that we face today because it's different. You know, we had young love and that was super fun, but it's different today, right? I'm not saying it's not there. I think we love each other more today than we did, but that doesn't mean it's easy.
Right.
And I think that's the clear message that we want to make sure we communicate. But
Right.
I'm going to turn it over to you, Sarah, and I'm ready to hear about Jean.
Ooh.
Oh, Jean.
So we met in the 3rd grade. Now,
I love that. I mean, I
Well,
love that.
we were not true love in the
That's
3rd
right.
grade. There
Yep,
was no
yep.
love at first sight. So I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, Pizza Hut
Oh.
was the jam when it came to like Flair, the toys, you know,
Yeah.
Book It, you got pizza
Yes.
for reading, and like
That's
all
right.
the movies that came out, Back to the Future, there was cool sunglasses, Land Before Time. We had all these like toys and puppets.
Yes.
Well, my uncle worked for Pizza Hut corporate.
yeah.
And so we got all that free merchandise or flair. But on the flip side of that, Pizza Hut also did apparel.
I love
And
that.
my parents, not being ones to turn down free stuff, got us the Pizza Hut shoes.
the shoes.
Shoes.
The
So they were
shoes.
solid white Reeboks, and everywhere they should have said Reebok, they said Pizza Hut. And that's what we wore.
That was the jam.
It was not the jam.
Well, I mean, it was kind of the jam
It was
for
not
you.
the jam.
People knew you by your shoes.
Now, I don't think that's a good thing though when they're Pizza Hut. So Gene swears that he doesn't remember bullying me for these Pizza Hut shoes, but he did because in my
Gene.
elementary school yearbook, I have drawn devil horns and a beard on Gene's face. Like he was not a nice person to me in the 3rd grade.
Oh, Gene.
But then somehow in the 6th grade, we ended
Yes.
up being boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't really even know how that transpired because I don't remember ever hanging out with him, anything up until we decided we were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend for what was literally 5 minutes. Because
That's
we
6th grade love.
Yes, we went to Putt Putt.
Ooh,
And
yes.
in the Putt Putt, for those of you that don't live here, it's the fun park now, but it was the miniature golf place.
Okay,
is what
yeah.
it was, Putt Putt for the fun of it. And they have this huge tunnel that you go through that one of
Yes.
the ranges are in. And we kissed in the tunnel. Sorry, Mom. And I went to school the next day and told everybody what a terrible kisser he was.
Oh.
Because what did I know about kissing in the 6th grade?
In the 6th grade.
Apparently, it was a lot. It was enough to know that
Apparently you
Gene
knew
was a bad
everything.
kisser.
Oh.
To which he still tells me to this day I ruined his life.
But it gets better.
So he obviously broke up with me.
That's right.
We weren't meant to be, and we became like best of friends in high school.
Yes, I
We
love that.
emailed each other.
I mean, can you say
Because that's
email?
what
Say
you
that
did.
again.
That's
You
what you did.
emailed.
We emailed each other from the same classroom, oddly, because we were in DECA together. So we emailed each other from the same classroom and just became really good friends. But he always had a girlfriend. I had a boyfriend. And there was no really what we thought was attraction there.
Yeah.
And we went on a DECA trip. which is the
Mm.
marketing club or whatever that you're in high
Yep.
school. And we both took a nap on the couch in the lobby of the hotel. And we'll still tell you to this day, it was the best nap of either of our lives.
Oh, I love that.
So we graduated from high school. He moved across the country to Colorado. I went to Georgia Southern with my then boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then somehow 6 years later, both ended up in Albany at the same time.
I love that.
And he was coming back to take over the bike shop at the time, or that
Yeah.
was the plan before we ended up opening up our own.
Mhm.
And I moved back because I, was in debt up to my eyeballs from college and needed to mooch off my parents. So different
Yes,
things brought
yes,
us
yes,
back,
yes.
but the same year. And I ran into a mutual friend of ours at the mall because people still went to the mall. And
That was a cool thing to do.
was like, who's here? Who's there to hang out with? And he was like, well, did you know Gene just moved back? And I was like, no, if you run into him, give him my number. So we did. And we hung out just as friends.
Yeah.
We went to Harvest Moon. It was downtown. And after a pizza and copious amounts of super classy Jaeger bombs,
Jaeger bomb.
we were in the parking lot about to leave. And as he said, so I've learned some things about kissing since the 6th grade.
I love it. I
And I
love
was like,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. And it was like a movie.
Ah,
I mean, it like I feel like if I could have seen it from the outside, like my foot would have popped up.
oh my!
It was like a
it's
movie.
like a movie.
It was like a movie.
yes.
And from that point on, I mean, we were together every
That's
day.
it.
And
That's right.
same thing. We'd talk on the phone for hours.
Yeah.
We would hang
Yeah.
out every single day.
Yes.
You got that, I haven't seen him and whatever.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
And this was even before, like, obviously text message is a thing,
yeah.
but not the primary form of communication.
That's right.
Like
Oh,
you're not
yes.
in it all day long,
No.
like we are now. So
That's
you're not
right.
constant. Nobody even thought to be constantly connected at
Yeah.
the time. So you had
That's
that
right.
opportunity to miss each other
That's
during
right.
the day.
Oh yes.
And those types of things.
Oh yes.
And we actually did not get married for a long time, even though we
Yeah.
talked about, we knew we were going to get married. We moved in together very, very quickly.
yeah.
I think that we started to officially, I remember on November the 5th
Ooh.
in the Waffle House, because I had just gotten back from a trip from Savannah. We talked about officially being boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I remember thinking, I'm so glad I went on this trip first. Not really. I mean,
check now.
I went to visit my
No,
college
that's a
roommate,
good
and
job.
there was nothing that was going on. But you let guys buy you a drink at the
That's
bar and that
right,
sort of thing, which I would have
yeah.
probably felt guilty about had I had an official boyfriend.
Right.
But we decided to be boyfriend on November the 5th, and we moved in together like that next February. Wow. So we moved in together really quickly. And
Yeah.
I will tell you, that's probably the one thing, if I could have changed anything about the start of our relationship,
Yeah.
I would not have moved in so fast.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was going to take us so long to get married, and we lived together 5 years.
That's a long time.
It's a
Sarah.
long time
You know, like,
before
that
we
is a long
got
time.
engaged.
Yeah.
So we were together a long time before we got married, and I think that came from moving in together because
And
you
I can
get
appreciate
comfortable.
that. You do get comfortable.
We were living a life as if we were
Yeah.
married, but we didn't
Yeah.
have that. And I can still remember getting in fights about that. Like, if we get married on a Saturday, I'm not going to love you anymore on that Sunday because
Yeah.
we're married.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people now choose to not get married,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think there's just something, and maybe it's a generational thing,
Yeah.
maybe it's a Southern thing,
Yeah.
but there's
Who
just something
knows?
about that, standing up, giving that commitment,
Yes.
that it's not just easy, because I would always joke, okay, we're breaking up for the end of the day. We're breaking up for the rest of the day. I know we live together, but we're breaking up for the rest of the day.
up. Okay.
Well, you can't break up with me if we're
That's
married.
right,
It's a
that's
lot
right.
more expensive. So,
Yes, we can't do that. Sorry. No,
so
no.
we had a very short engagement because we
Yeah.
got engaged for my birthday that July, and we were
This
married the
July.
next May.
Okay.
Because I'd had 5 years to think about it. All I
well,
had to do
you've
was
been
press
together a long
go.
time. Yeah.
All I had to do was press go. Like you were not getting out of this mess. So
Join me on this fun journey.
yes. But then the whole
So
dynamic
good.
shifts, as
Yeah.
you age, and then
You
you have
do.
children, and you
You
have to
do.
add that layer into it too.
Yeah.
And so now
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that before I was a mom and a professional and even a
Yeah.
wife, like we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we
Yes.
were excited to see each other, and we were excited to hang out.
That's right.
And he will even remind me of that when I say something about, I'm somebody's mom, and he'll reply, well, you're not my mom.
Ooh. Oh,
you know,
yes. Yes.
you can't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes.
So
But it's the balance.
it is. It's a
the balance. You know, I think when Chad, because we were long distance for a long time,
Mhm.
that really helped us a lot, I feel like, because
Mhm.
we had that separation. And so he was always so kind to bring me like some old CD or like a CD he had burned.
Like a
music.
mixtape? Like
Yes,
he made
old
it?
country. Yes. Old
Aw,
country.
Chad.
George Jones, old country, George Jones, Gary Allen. Like he had some really good songs that were so
Oh.
meaningful. I'm like, man.
What was your wedding song?
Oh my God. Chad, don't hate me. I don't remember. He's gonna be like, it was this. I don't know. It was amazing, Sarah.
Was it an old country song?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay,
Mm-mm,
okay,
It
that was-
wasn't.
okay.
No,
Okay.
it was not. It was not. So yeah, that was so fun. Like trying to remember, right?
And that is
like,
something that you don't have
that feeling.
10, 15 years into marriage.
Yes,
unless
it's
your
hard.
spouse like travels for work all the time.
That's right, and they're gone.
We don't really get the opportunity to miss each
No.
other.
and I think that's what we did. Like,
Yes.
we missed each other
Yes.
like a lot. You know.
And sometimes I wonder
So-
if the constant connection of the cell phone
Yes.
interferes because
Yes,
I don't
Sarah.
I don't have to ask Gene how his day was
Oh
at the end of the day
gosh.
when he gets home.
Yeah.
I know because if
Yeah.
something happens that, makes him mad at work or that he's proud of at work, I get a message
gonna
about
let
it
you know.
instantly.
Yeah.
And same thing for him.
Yeah.
Like
that's right.
if I need to take 5 seconds and tell him about something great the team did or tell him I'm
That's
having a
right.
bad day or
That's right.
whatever, I do that in real time. So by the time we get home, it's kind of like the only thing we have to talk about is what we want for supper. And I don't cook anymore because he does the carnivore diet and he just heats up his hamburgers. So
That's the worst fight ever. Is what's for supper.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
our biggest. What?
when did it become
What?
our job?
God, I'm like, oh my gosh. It's the same old, same old.
Yes.
I mean, it's taco spaghetti. Hamburger steak. I mean, I don't know, roast for Sundays. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
the
But somewhere it's written down that it's our responsibility to come up with the
Yes.
menu and
Yeah.
to clean the toilets. I don't know where that contract is, but apparently it's
That's
somewhere
right.
and I missed it
That's
in the
right.
fine print of the wedding vows.
That's right.
But yes, so we don't get the opportunity to miss each other. And I
That's
think that
right.
makes a big difference.
I agree.
So
Absolutely.
your kids are older now
That's right.
and can stay by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what
Thank
do you
goodness.
guys do to try to date now?
So Chad and I love Disney. You know this.
Mhm.
So we love, and Disney's expensive. So that's not like it's just a quick date.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We used to do a lot better of going to some local restaurants, and we don't always do that now. I think our biggest trip most recently was Disney with just him and I. The kids don't love that.
Right.
Can you
obviously.
imagine?
Right.
But we had the best time. And see, I think when was that? That was June,
Mm.
right? I think that was June that we
Mhm.
did that. And so we've not really done anything, right? We've went to the beach with family,
Right.
right? And so that's been super fun, but we've really not had that time. And so it is a challenge when you have kids, you have the homework, you have to make sure the supper's fixed, you have all the things that a wife has to do, a mom has to do. So prioritizing a date night is difficult. And my kids, it's even easier.
Right.
They can stay by themselves. So definitely is a challenge for us at home. And I think it's so important. I read something the other day that was talking about, you became the wife of your spouse because you were dating. Like that's how you fell in love. Like you started dating, you had
Right.
that first love. So don't ever lose that. Continue that dating throughout your span of your time because that will keep you closer together.
Right.
And I agree, when we go out and because you and I've talked to this, we've talked about this on the podcast. Maddie will be gone soon. We'll have Ada Britt,
Right.
but Maddie will be gone soon. And it's like, it's going to be you and I. It's going to be you and I,
What are we gonna
still. What
talk
are we gonna
about?
talk about?
What are we going to talk about?
And I think when Chad and I, even the last time we went to Disney and we went, I feel like it was a date night every night. I think that's
Yeah.
so much fun, at dinner and having the drinks and just being ourselves. We enjoy each other's company, and I think that
Which is a plus.
yes. And I think, Karen said it best. I think the last time she was, our first guest, she came on and she talked about being 40, right? And just having that feeling of, hey, I'm okay with just saying, hey, this is what I like. This is what I don't like.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Right.
And I think as you get older, it's a little bit easier, hey, Chad, this is what I like. This is what I don't like.
And we've had to evolve
Oh my gosh,
to
yeah.
re-like each other
Yeah.
over our marriage, if that makes
100%.
sense. We've been married for 11 years
Yeah.
and neither one of us are the person that we were when we got
Oh my
married.
gosh, yeah.
I have a picture, and if I can find it, he will murder me, and we probably won't be married after this episode. The very first picture that Gene and I ever took, his head is shaved, and he has gauge earrings in. Like my sister
What?
said this in her
Please
rehearsal
find
dinner
the photo.
speech. The fact that I sent her an email, like, is there a world that BMX and the Gap can coexist?
Here it is.
I was so
Gene is
preppy,
it. Yeah.
and he was not.
Oh my god.
And now, if you see Gene, I mean, he's like muscly,
Yes.
like beard,
yes,
you know, just
Yeah.
Lululemon from head to toe, like
Yes.
super bougie, basic white
Yes.
girl of a man who I love dearly
That's
for
right.
these extra
That's right.
qualities.
he's evolved. Yeah.
And when we first started, I had been in a relationship that was super terrible for my self-esteem.
Yeah.
I was a front desk receptionist somewhere,
Yeah.
had no idea where I wanted to go, no idea what I wanted to do for my career.
Yeah.
So not that I was a shell of a person by any means. I've never been that way, but I just didn't know who I was.
That's right.
And so he's had to figure all of my personalities out over the last 11 years, which are a lot.
Oh no.
And he has evolved into this super different person whose priorities are different because
Yeah.
he's not, when we first started to date, he wasn't into working out. And now that is his thing.
That's his jam.
Like
yeah, that's
it's his thing, and he works it into his schedule, and he makes it a priority, regardless
Yes.
of whether it hurts my feelings or not.
That's right.
But when I take a step back and realize that that's how he relieves stress, he's at work 6 days a week, and if this
Yeah.
is what he needs to do, by all
Then
means.
so be it.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's right.
And I'm trying to figure out what my thing is. You
That's
know,
right.
at first, even when we started the podcast, I felt
Yeah.
guilty because it took me away
That's right.
from doing something at home. It took me away from them. But you have to figure out those things of who
That's
you are as
right.
individuals, and then like each other again together.
Yes, I totally agree.
And Gene does a
Absolutely.
good job of the big moments. Like
Ooh,
he can
yes.
tell
Yes.
when I have hit my limit,
Yeah.
and okay, let's go to the beach this weekend.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm a beach
Yeah.
person. We're beach
That's right.
people.
That's
okay,
right.
let's go to the beach this weekend.
That's right.
Or let me bring home a bottle of red wine tonight because I
That's
can tell
right.
that you've had a stressful week. But we do not carve out one-on-one time.
Yes.
Because the same thing, my child
It's
loves the
hard.
beach.
Yes.
He is a ocean baby, so we feel guilty going without him.
Because he's gonna be sad that you're there.
Right, because he's gonna be sad that
Yes.
we're there. So
Yeah.
we carve out family time. We do stuff as our little family, but
Yeah.
where we struggle is finding the time for the two of us.
That's right.
Because when Barrett goes to bed, we go to bed.
Yeah.
So there's people that stay up and watch TV together, or then they have dinner together, or
Yes.
they stay up and have a glass of wine together, or they do something to connect together.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We go to sleep.
Yeah. I know. I was listening to Karen last time when they were talking about, you know, their sunset little drive.
Yes.
That's so cute. That's so sweet.
It is so sweet.
That is so sweet. And so and Chad and I, we've been married. So we got married in 2004. So this coming year will be 19 years. So, but we were together, like, obviously, you know, we were engaged 2 years. So we were we've been together like 22 years. So we've been together longer together, and then we have apart,
Right.
you know, at this point.
Yes.
That is, I will say, and there were some years in there and with the challenges of marriage that I thought, and I remember people saying like year 5, like I think 1 through 5 is hard.
Mm-hmm.
5 through 7 is a little bit harder. That's so true. You know, so people out there, they're married, you do have challenges. So
You
it's
do.
not, this is not, our marriage is not perfect by any means. We try to do the best we can. We love each other. And I think
Yes.
that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, like creating that strong bond that will last us for
Yes.
eternity. But that doesn't mean we argue, we fuss, we
Yes.
fight.
Yes.
I mean, our kids, we fuss at them. I mean, you know, you even mentioned something the other day, Sarah. I don't even know if you don't want to say this, but you were saying we're not a family that yells, you know, and that
Right.
was so good because you had kind of snapped a little bit at Barrett. And I do that a lot because I get short fused, you know, and I'm like, take a step back because our kids are going to be gone. Like,
Right.
try not to be. And I have a teenager that sometimes I want to pinch her head off. I'm just being, I know she'll be watching, but
Hey, girl.
hey, girl, hey. But I mean, truly, like she's 15. I you know, she's trying to figure out that how to communicate. And I
Right.
think we talked about it when we were first dating. Like we had to talk on the phone. Like we had to communicate to the
God
people.
bless. Can you imagine
They
having
can't-
a
they don't
date
do that
now?
now.
They can't.
They
You
don't
can't
do
talk to a
that.
person. You can't talk to anybody.
They Snapchat. In which you didn't have Snapchat, but they Snapchat. They send a picture. They don't communicate like you and I
Yes.
communicated to our now spouses. You know, so it is a different time, a different day. And so I tell Maddie, getting a job is going to be probably difficult for you, but you've got to learn how to communicate to people.
Yes.
And that's going to serve for whoever she meets one day, and they hopefully love her for who she is. I'm praying that every day, but it's just a different time and a different world. So we have challenges that we didn't really have back then that creates a little bit of, we have to do things different today. And I think making sure our spouses are our priority. And when I say priority, I believe God, family, I believe that whole
well, your husband,
thing.
your spouse is supposed to come before your kids. And
100%.
I'm terrible at this. And I'll admit it that I'm
100%.
terrible at it because
Yes,
BK is my world.
Hey,
Like,
B, yes,
and
Yeah.
I need to do better about that because
That's so true.
I want to remember that before I was a mom, before I was a professional, like I was somebody's girlfriend. I am somebody's wife.
That's right.
Like, and I don't,
ooh, gives me cold chills, girl. Yes.
and I'm just,
Yes.
he,
Gene will be there. B's going to be gone, moved to college,
Right.
and Gene's going to be there. You know what I
forever.
mean? So the challenge. So I'm going to mention the TikTok challenge, right? The 222 challenge. So TikTok, I don't know if you know about this.
You'll have to tell me about you'll have to show
So
it to
the
me on the
222
TikTok because I don't have it.
222 rule here. I'm new to TikTok, so be gracious with this. But so 222 challenge is or 222 rule. So every 2 weeks you date your spouse. You set aside a night and you go out. Then every 2 months you have a weekend trip with your spouse.
Okay.
And then every 2 years you take a week-long vacation with just you and your spouse.
I've never been away from my child for a week. Not one time in 8 years.
Okay, we're going to have to schedule something, girl.
I used to not go out of town for a long time because I had a Boston Terrier and I couldn't leave my dog for that long. Can you imagine if I left my child for that long?
What would happen
What
to
would
me? Listen, he's going to be fine.
I'd
girl.
come back
He's
and
going to be fine.
his nose would be pierced and he'd be
He's going to have the big gauges.
right.
He's got the big gauges.
What
Bring
would
it
happen
back.
to him?
He's going to bring back the gauges.
We talked
But
a little bit
yeah.
about initially social media.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes it hard. It puts a lot more pressure on
Mhm.
dating because you
Yeah.
see people who, and I know there are, and I made a comment that Jean's good about the big things, but and I'm bad about this too. We don't recognize when we need something small from one another.
Oh my God.
Whether
100%.
and we talked
I
about
agree.
before that Chad's love language is quality time.
Yes.
Jean's is word of
100%.
affirmation.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we did a better job at
Yes.
carving out little date time,
Yes.
that might help them. And I know there are people that have married these unicorns
They
whose
are.
husbands arrange
Absolutely.
a babysitter, arrange dinner,
Yes.
make plans. Our husbands are not the unicorns.
No.
And
that's
sometimes
not
I
reality
feel
for us.
like it's one more thing I have to do.
I know.
It's one more
Yes.
plate I have to
Yes.
juggle.
Yes.
But I need to look at it from a perspective of it's going to fill my cup up too.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, I have to plan it. Yes, I might have to be the one to carve it out. But if I feed into his love language, he's going to feed more into mine.
That's
If
right.
that makes sense.
It's going to make both of y'all happy.
It will make both of us happy at the end
That's
of the day.
right. That's right.
Because when we first got married, I can remember we were super poor and we couldn't go out to dinner for things. But I
Yeah.
would buy one of those like Bertolli pasta bags from the
Yes.
freezer section
Yes.
and a
Oh
a
my
cheap
gosh,
bottle of
yes.
wine and cook it
Yes.
at home. And I would feel like we were on this fancy date.
Which was so
So-
cool. That's what you have to do.
So I
love
really
that.
need to circle back around. So even if it's,
Yes.
because in my mind, I think if we're going on a date, then we have to get dressed up.
That's right.
Go
Get
somewhere.
and go. That's right.
When really we could just do it at home.
That's right.
Like,
That's
we
right.
could do it at home. Like it could be after Barrett goes to bed, or
Yeah.
he does spend the night he goes to Camp Nana every once in a while.
Ooh, yes, love Camp
And we have
Nana.
been so bad about if we have the opportunity to watch what we want to watch on TV, Jean watches it in one room and I watch it in another.
Oh my God.
And that's a wasted opportunity that we
Yes,
could be
that's
having a
time.
date.
That's
So
right.
we could meet this
That's
222 challenge if we did that.
Yes.
So I need to be better about that.
Well, and I think us starting small. Right?
Yes.
So I think the 222 challenge, I think you and I maybe should
Okay.
actually, let's do a challenge.
Okay.
And let's do the first piece of that 222. So every 2 weeks, set aside time. And like you said, it could be at home or it could be
Right.
away.
So it has to be a grand gesture.
That's right.
Okay.
Even though sometimes, I think you're kind of like me.
I like to go out and
I
have the food.
to go out.
I like to go out and have
and
the
do
food.
the things, right? With wear the
Yes,
things, do the
yes.
things. I love that. So, but let's do that. And then let's come back and let's talk about our challenge to see if we've met the challenge. What's your thoughts on that?
If you're not able to watch, I'm taking a long sip of my drink so that I
Before
can
she
think about
agrees.
it before I agree. Okay.
So you took a quick pause.
I took a quick pause to
Yes.
think about what I
Yes.
want. Okay. And I will accept that.
Yes.
But we're also going to challenge you guys to do it with us.
Let's do it.
So let's do it together.
Let's
So
do it together.
you can comment on our Facebook page what you do, how you carve out your date night over the next 2 weeks.
And it can be anything.
Yes.
So don't think it has to be out to dinner. Don't think it has to be just like Karen, a ride in the Ranger to watch the sunset.
Right.
It can be as simple as that. But let us know what you're doing.
Or you get up a little early and have coffee together.
Oh, that gave me cultural too, Sarah. I love coffee.
I know, like to
coffee
even
girl.
just sit down the two of you and have coffee date in the
Yes,
morning,
that's
you know,
right.
a little bit earlier before the hustle and bustle of your kids' day
Yes,
starts or those types of
yes,
things.
That's right.
So whatever you do over the
Yeah,
next 2 weeks to go
that's
on a
right.
date with your spouse,
I love
post
that.
it on our Facebook page and tell us about it.
I love
And
it.
we'll follow up on what we do.
I love it.
Okay.
I think that's great.
I think that's great, too.
I think at the end of the day, you and I love our spouses. You
Oh,
know,
100%.
It's a challenge.
Like he's my lobster.
It's a challenge.
Like he's my
Yes.
lobster. He's my person.
Yes, the Chad is mine too, and
Yes.
I love him dearly. You love Gene dearly, but don't think it's not a challenge every day.
Oh,
You
100%.
know, it doesn't mean it is always the easiest thing, right?
It's actually always the hardest thing.
it is sometimes the hardest thing.
It's the hardest thing.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
But that
we're
makes it worth it. Because they always say
100%.
nothing. What do you get the most? You get the most heated over the person that you love the most.
Ooh, oh, Chad will tell
If
you
I
that
didn't-
100%.
If I didn't care about
He
him,
was-
he wouldn't make me want to be on the cover of the Lee County Ledger.
He
3
will
times a
tell you.
week.
He will tell you. Why do you always get mad at just me? And I'm like, I love you. I can do that with you.
That's right.
And I know
It's
you're
that-
still going to be there
that's right.
tomorrow.
It's that fiery
I can't
passion.
do that
yes,
with anybody else.
makes
So,
me want to kiss
yes,
you and
that's
maybe put you in a
right.
wood chipper sometimes.
100%. But
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it. The 222.
222 challenge. Don't forget to look it up on TikTok and then also on our Facebook page. Make sure you comment and let us know what you're doing for your challenge as well with your spouse.
That's right. And if you haven't liked us and followed us on Facebook so far, you can find us at Enjoy the Chaos with April and
Yes.
Sarah.
That's right.
And
And how
then
about this drink, Sarah? This is so fall. I love this.
I'm gonna give it a 6, sister.
I
I know
think
our scale's only 2 to 5, but I'm gonna give it a 6.
I'm gonna go above 2. I mean 6. I don't even know if that's good enough. I mean, this is legit.
This is delicious.
This is so fall.
I'll put the recipe on our Facebook
Please
page.
do. Yeah,
Yes,
do that.
I'll put the recipe on our
We're
Facebook page.
totally gonna do this again.
Yes.
You and I.
All right.
And
Y'all-
B. What do you give it, B?
I give it a 6.
Ooh.
Okay.
Off the charts.
All right. So this is our
Yes.
favorite so far.
I love it.
All right. Y'all have a great week.
Have a great week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.